Nanook Metal, tuk tut!
Hello friends, my name is Nanook Metal and I hope that you are having a good day. Today I want to have a look at something different. A couple of months ago I was taking a screenshot for one of my videos in order to make a thumbnail out of it, and I found this weird thing in the old safe house. So basically there are these words floating above the map or above the roof of the safe house itself, and that's the old safe house. And there is no explanation to why they're there. I'm not 100% sure why. I guess it is something to do with the map creation. If we look at the text again, you can see that it says safes, masks, stealth, shooting, weapons, and bags. It might be some kind of a visual representation for a script trigger or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. Let me know what you think about it. This inspired me to go onto a whole bunch of different maps and see any weird things or look for any weird things. For example, in the art gallery heist, I found this chair that's basically floating in the air and is not visible from any angle whatsoever. You can also kind of see that although the camera room only has one entry at a time, those little corridors still spawn, and of course you won't be able to see them because they're hidden behind the walls, but they're still there. There is also this pole that I found that's basically under the ground, but you can see the just the very top of it, and it's got a light on top of it. I think it's a very smart and clever way of reusing some of the assets that have been made, so that you don't have to make an extra one, basically saving on time and resources. Shadow Raid is another example of where assets have been recycled. You can see in the tunnels there are some basically rubble piles, or I'm not sure, it's some kind of rock pile, but you can see that the majority of it is actually hidden out of our view. And once again, rather than making a separate asset, developers basically used those rubbish piles that I'm sure have been used previously. Something that I have been personally interested in from the very beginning is this wall here. You can kind of see that there is a door there, but it doesn't lead you anywhere. Also, if you're in the backyard, there are a couple of gates at the back, which once again don't really lead anywhere. There's a bit of inconsistency going on with the doors of the Shadow Raid compound. Next, I had a look at the Golden Green Casino. Nothing really interesting going on here either. Well, you can see the vault that is underground, and I can kind of float in there. But I did find something curious in regards to the background. You can see that there is a model copy of the Eiffel Tower, and apparently someone is living under it. It's probably quite a loud place to live in. Now, this is where I started finding real gold. This is first of the Easter eggs that I've encountered. It was pretty exciting. It's a little bit tricky to find because when you start going out of the map, things tend to disappear, but I'll try and screen cap the particular message that someone has left for us. My only guess is that Lucy is a map developer and she has decided to leave a small Easter egg, which normally we would not able to see unless we use some kind of device to fly out of the map. There's also a little squiggle there to the right of the Lucy, which you cannot see right now, but I will show you what exactly it says later on, because this is not the last time we see message from Lucy. I also decided to go into the concert area of the Alesso heist, and I have to say this is a little bit creepy, a very abstract representation of the DJ himself. There he is, crouching, apparently in panic. I believe the reason that he's like that is because he basically needs to be hidden behind the DJ desk. Up next is the first world bank, and I had a look around the map itself, found this weird air duct, and I believe a cloaker spawns from it, but surprisingly long. I'm not sure why exactly it had to be that big, considering you cannot really see into it. It's quite high above there. Moving on to the Meltdown, which is a basically Shadow Raid heist done in Loud, you can notice that there are some differences between the two maps. For example, the whole backyard area got removed. There is no way you can access this part of the map anymore, and I believe the reason for that was because the map got extended into the opposite direction. If you played this map before, you will know that there is quite a large area that's basically a train yard and a dockyard where you can drive, and you need to bring your bags there, either by using a forklift or that muscle car. I can't remember what it is, but you can kind of see this area right now. I also saw the Maretta, which is pretty interesting. I thought, oh, that's pretty cool, like they've placed the Maretta there, but then turns out they just basically, once again, the developer reused the assets. There's a second Maretta here, and I think I also saw a third one somewhere else. Pretty funny, actually. Moving on to another Vlad's heist, which is the Aftershock. You can kind of see myself running around. I've set the camera up somewhere else, and I am actually controlling my person right now, my character, but the funny thing is that only the hands get rendered because, well, there is no need in rendering the rest of the body. You can see my weapon, you can see my arms, and that's about it. I found it quite interesting at the time. It would probably be actually cool to have like a full 3D person being rendered. I could probably use this in my tutorials, but whatever. It always was interesting for me to see what is behind the door that leads into sort of a basement in the Big Bang heist, and turns out it just basically leads you into nowhere. It doesn't lead you into the vault like I actually thought. And the other thing that I found here was this door that is basically a portal for civilians to come in and out of. You can see that once they come around the corner, they basically disappear, and they do appear by the same token. So basically there is a script that spawns and despawns civilians who then walk into the map. I think my timeline got messed up here a little bit. We're back at the Aftershock, and once again, here's Lucy and also Frez. I am again guessing that both of these people, Lucy and Frez, are the map designers, and they kind of left some nice and cute Easter eggs for us. I found this really, really interesting, and this is a second map where I found Lucy, or signs of Lucy, but also Frez. I think there is another one which we might see later on, and once I get there I'll show it to you. Apart from that, yeah, nothing else interesting in the Aftershock. Going on to the jewelry store heist, I found this door here. Actually, I think it's a Ukrainian job, but they're basically pretty much the same map. This map here features this door which doesn't lead you anywhere, but you can see the symbols which allows you to interact with them. Kind of found it cool. I also found two saves here, the normal saves. Apparently you can interact with them as well. I tried to spawn my person nearby, but he basically just falls through the textures, so you cannot, well, unless I find like a flying mode or something like that, which I don't really want to use. It's not too into using cheats too much. I'm even very cautious with using this mod here. I only use it for taking nice screenshots for my videos, and I do encourage you, if you use these kinds of mods, then use them in private lobbies. Don't ruin other people's games. It's the worst thing that you probably can do. The next place that I've checked was the new safe house, and, well, once again, nothing interesting that I found here. I kind of came here hoping to maybe find signs of new rooms. As we know at this point, we are going to get the new H3 character DLC. Here's another funny thing that I found. It's just basically a word that says short. But also the other thing that we are meant to get is the August character. But at the moment, there are no signs of their rooms. Going on to the cook-off heist, I found, once again, just like in the old safe house, I found these panels here, and they say meth slap. I wonder if it's a typo. I wonder if that's meant to say meth's lab. Also, it says trophy. What is that? Can't quite see it right now. Extra ingredients. Maybe there's some sort of symbols for scripts. Maybe it's an indicator to show that a script is running or something like that, or some kind of debug function that was left there unintentionally, or because, well, we're not meant to see it normally. Well, I don't know. The other interesting thing that I found in some of the heists was the police vans, or those SWAT vans, police vehicles with people inside of them, and also the escape vehicles. They basically will spawn at the beginning of the heist, and only will be scripted to move once they get triggered, once you are meant to get the van. So for example, here is what's his name, Twitch, and he's basically just sitting there. But the funny thing is that there are two vans that have spawned, as well as that SWAT turret. And now we are in the Hoxton Revenge heist, I believe. And I wanted to see whether Hector actually spends the whole time sitting here, and turns out no, that's not the case. He's not gonna be inside of the vault until, I believe, you open the vault itself. Only then his model will spawn, and that's when you can kill him. Kind of interesting. I wonder why this happened, but not sure. Here's the normal bank heist. Never noticed these banners before. I wonder if they were here all the time, or maybe they tend to be changed from time to time, but I never pay attention, and I probably will from now on. Quite an artful poster. I really enjoyed it. There are also some photographs of this rather attractive woman. Not sure why she's there. Here's another sign of Lucy. That's the train heist. I feel like Lucy is like an old friend now. It was pretty funny to like fly around the maps and try and find try to think like, if I were designing this map, where would I hide a secret message? I also found this secret area here, which I thought maybe I can interact with some things here, but no. Even though this place is clear and transparent, I actually can't jump through. And once again, you can kind of see Lucy's message over there. I flew around the diamond heist quite a bit, and there we go. I found a police vehicle with the 2 cops sitting inside of it. I guess they are waiting for the alarm to go off. And I also found this weird place here. It's got some pictures, basically like an entry to the museum, but there's no way you can actually see it, so I'm not sure why exactly it is here. I also found I think it's the Washington Monument. I can't remember. I was going to Google it before starting the recording of this video, but I forgot. Regardless, I tried to teleport my character there and see if I can interact with it at all, but all of these things are basically transparent textures. You cannot interact with them. I tried shooting through them and bullets just go through, and so did my character. And then I respawned in the bounds of the map and got downed because I took lethal fall damage, and since this was on 1 down difficulty, I immediately went into a black and white screen. So I guess that sort of device is meant against people trying to cheat or something like that. I don't know. I don't understand why would someone try and go out of bounds anyway. Here's the day 3 of the framing frame heist, and you can kind of see that apartment. It's the apartment that you can zipline to if you buy the asset with the sniper DLC. I can't remember what it's called. What I found interesting is this thing here. Not quite sure what it is. Maybe it's an asset that was meant to be used for the bag secure area. You do get a zip line, and it kind of does look like that, as well as some sort of I don't know, like piece of material that's hanging off of it, like a flag. I'm not 100% sure what that was, but it is there, and you cannot interact with it. The other funny thing that I found is that basically every vault out of the 3 possible locations spawns there every time. It's just you won't be able to see it. You can actually find the gold, and it always spawns there, but because there will be a wall blocking you normally from entering those rooms, there is no point in despawning the gold and removing the vault itself. But the vault will be there in all 3 locations every time. I think that was about it for the framing frame day 3 of the heist. And yeah, didn't find Lucy, unfortunately. One last thing that I found here was this couch. It's pretty interesting because it's next to where we are supposedly get those coke bags, and maybe the couch is used by the guy who throws the coke bags for us. Just like in the framing frame day 3, the Firestarter day 2 heist features several server rooms, and they do sort of spawn regardless of whether you're meant to be able to access it or not. And the servers themselves are there. It's just that you cannot normally enter those areas. Here's the proper server room. It does have a door, but all other ones won't have a door. Here's another mention of Mitch Event. I'm not sure who that guy is, but that's his name. I also saw it in the old safe house. Appears on day 2 of the big oil heist. Kind of flew around the map itself a little bit as well, trying to find anything interesting, but there wasn't really anything interesting there. The Hotline Miami Day 1 heist features some weird assets just lying there. It's basically some envelopes, some documents, and this stack of cash that looks exactly the same as any other stack of cash that you can pick up. You know, the 300k money or whatever money you get out of it, depends on the difficulty, I suppose. For some reason, it's all there. This is another very interesting map. I quite like this one. It's the lab rats, and if you pay close attention, you can actually recognize the room as being the cook-off map or the rats day one map or the building. So it looks exactly the same. I actually up to this point never noticed that it was the case. Probably it's not. Probably it's very obvious. I just missed it. So the fact that we're meant to be rats means that everything is very large, but I had to speed myself up in order to be able to cover larger distances. Also found a high resolution bottle of caustic soda. It's meant to be very large or natural size. It's us who are very small. And also a bottle of denatured alcohol. Quite interesting writings there. And yeah, apparently the bleach is a liquor. I'm not sure why Overkill called it that. Maybe for legal purposes, or maybe as some kind of dark joke, because normally liquors are meant to be drunk. Or maybe they just found some stock images. This map doesn't actually have anything else apart from that. You do have that stairwell leading downstairs, but it leads into the dead end. Considering I found some interesting things in the lab rats, I went into the prison nightmare heist and tried to find some more references or any kind of Easter eggs, or just interesting details. I saw this message here: the wages of sin is death. Never saw it before, because usually when I spawn, I just kind of run forward and never actually look at that part of the map, even when I when I escape. To be honest, I haven't played this map too much, so I'm not very familiar with it. Anyway, I tried to go to that small island there because that looked pretty interesting, but as I got closer to it, the whole place basically, the whole area that just disappeared. Moving on to the Go Bank heist, and people who play Counter-Strike might already find this map familiar to them. It's basically a carbon copy of the bank heist in Counter-Strike Go. Kind of flew around a little bit, found the car park where we can eventually get if we do this heist through loud. Also, it's pretty interesting how the reflections basically reflect the opposite side of the Go Bank, the petrol station, and you can see a sort of a SWAT van or some kind of a security van, and I can see that I'm able to, I don't know, interact with it. You can see that escape zone sort of thing. So maybe it's an older version of an escape van. Maybe it was meant to be a bit beefy. I can see a huge bumper. The vehicle itself looks like a security van. Very interesting that it got replaced by like a more or less normal one, and I actually would be pretty excited to see this thing in maybe an older version. Let me know, maybe if you've played this game for a long time, this is what the escape van used to be like. And I believe this takes us to the last clip of the video, and this is behind the fence on the opposite side where the petrol station is in the Go Bank, and you can see the message says, "What are you doing here?" And the other message says, "How to get rich. Step 1, buy a lottery ticket. Step 2, win." The developers have quite a funny sense of humor, quite sneaky as well, because, well, you're not really meant to see all of these messages normally. I also investigated a bunch of other maps and unfortunately did not find anything interesting there. Doesn't mean that there's nothing interesting there. I'm sure I may have missed some things. So let me know if you know of any sort of Easter eggs, out of bounds Easter eggs like that, down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to share it with your friends, because good people need to watch good videos. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you later. Bye bye.